Good morning from Skagway. We did not get up until 8 o'clock, so we had a nice, well-deserved lie-in today after being up very early all week, so very much well-deserved. We're up, we're ready, we're going to go get breakfast in the buffet today. So we're going to go to the buffet and then we're going to head out and explore Skagway. Our tour is at 12 o'clock I think, but we need to meet at the pier at 11:40. So we're going to go explore Skagway and then do our excursion. Our excursion today is the White Pass Railway. Very excited for that. So yeah, we're going to get breakfast, we're going to explore, and then nothing else really planned for the day. It's quite a quiet day. All aboard is 4 o'clock, so we've got sort of a full day in Skagway, but we'll make the most of it. See who's in today. Apparently Disney Wonder is due in today, so we will go and see if Disney Wonder is in, but first, breakfast. We headed up to the World Fresh Marketplace on deck 16 for a buffet breakfast. The food was good, but I do prefer the main dining room. But I did get a glimpse of Disney Wonder. After breakfast, we got off the ship and headed into town to explore for a little bit before our excursion at 12 o'clock. We were docked near to where the landslide took place in 2022, so we were not allowed to walk along the dock where the landslide had taken place. Instead, once we got off the ship, we walked a little way before getting on a bus to take us safely past the unsafe area. The bus driver informed us that they are waiting for the end of the cruise season to go up and make it secure, which will involve taking some other rocks down which are causing a concern. The transfer took a few minutes and we were dropped off at the main port area where you pick up the White Pass train as well as buses for tours. The port area is accessibility friendly with ramps, and the Princess crew were fantastic at helping people in wheelchairs. The bus also stops closer to the ship to pick up people with mobility before picking others up. So you get dropped off here, which is where all the tours and that are, and then it's about a 10-minute walk into the centre of town. So we're going to walk into town. That's the White Pass Railway, which we're going to go on later. Yeah, let's walk into town and see what we can find. It's about a 10-minute walk into the centre of town from the port area, and it's a very straightforward walk. It's on flat surface, it's very accessible for wheelchairs or for buggies, and you also get great views of the White Pass Railway. Once in town, we headed to the White Pass and Yukon Railway gift shop and cafe, which is where you pick up the train if you are not doing a cruise booked excursion. If you're doing a cruise booked excursion, you'll pick the train up from the dock side. But we went in there, picked up a few bits, and then we had a wander around the area. There's lots of train memorabilia and things like that. So there was a snow and ice plough, which was really interesting to see, an old coach, and then they've got a nice garden area with statues and explanations of what the items were used for. So the plough, for example, which was really interesting to see how they did it and how they cleared the amount of snow they needed to. There's also a nice play area for children, etc. We then decided to head down to check out Disney Wonder, and oh my goodness, what a beautiful ship she is. So it was really good to get up close and to see her. If you've got children, this is a great little place for them to run around in. Let them be free and wild. We had a quick wander around the town, and then it was time to head back to the dock to get our excursion. We had to arrive 20 minutes beforehand, and I'm glad we did because the queue was massive already for the 12 o'clock train.
Full train today, so do keep on heading up, okay?
So if the train steps are down, you can get on. If they're not, then you can't.
Hello, yep, and some of you folks, if you want to keep heading up this way towards the dirty front.
What?
Precinct 2 people to a bench. Yep. You can keep heading up that way. We've got space towards the front.
Gonna go up here, Mum?
Consumption of alcohol allowed at any time during our trip today. Please make sure not to rest your hands and fingers in the doorways to the platforms as they can slam shut due to the rocking of the train. All of our passengers that are 16 years and under need to be accompanied by a responsible adult when outside on those platforms.
We opted for the White Pass Summit excursion, which lasts for approximately 2.5 to 2 3/4 hours and is a 40-mile round trip on the White Pass Railway. We booked our excursions directly with Princess, which meant that we were able to pick up the train from the port area, but if you book it direct, then it's a really easy walk to the White Pass shop and station where you can get on it there. The railway takes you from 0 elevation at the dockside to 2,888 feet elevation at the White Pass summit. At the summit, the train does a loop and heads back down. This means that it doesn't matter which side of the train you sit on, as you get to see both sides. Also, because the train doesn't stop, we did not need our passport, but please make sure you check your excursion information before your own tour.
You can either choose to step off the train at the first stop in town, or you can stay on board and we'll take you back to your dock. Now we'll be stopped at our depot long enough to offload passengers only, and there will not be enough time to step off the train and reboard. If you decide to get off the train at the depot, don't
We opted to stay on the train until it returned to the dockside, and then we got off and headed back towards the ship. Because it was a peak time for getting back on board, they had both the shuttle buses running as well as tender service, and so we opted for a tender ride back to the ship to quicken up the process, as the line for the shuttle buses was quite long. This was actually really straightforward and simple to do. We just showed our medallions to security to make sure we were getting on the right tenders, as Holland America Line was also tendering. So we showed our medallions and then headed down to our tender. The tender filled up very quickly, and you can choose where to sit, upstairs or downstairs. We opted for inside. This was our first tender ride and it was really good, and we had great views as we headed out back to the ship. The crew were great as always and really helpful for helping you get on and off the tenders. Once back on board, it was time for a late lunch. We headed up to the Salty Dog Grill on deck 16 for a burger. It was a really nice burger actually. I really like the sort of grill food that they have on board. We then did have an ice cream, which again is included in the fare, and then it was time to sail away. So we have got back on the ship. We are ready to sail away. This is meant to be one of the most scenic sailaways, so I'm out on the balcony, all bundled up, ready for sail away, and we're going to do a 180 very quickly, apparently, according to Captain John. After a couple of hours relaxing and watching the scenery, it was time to head for dinner, and we went back to the Skagway restaurant. And there we have another wonderful day on Discovery Princess. We left Skagway earlier. We had a really nice time on the White Pass and Yukon
railway. That was really insightful and entertaining, an absolutely stunning view, so I highly recommend doing it if you're ever in Skagway. Had a little wander around the port, as you would have seen, and got back on board, had lunch up by the pool at the Salty Dog Grill, had a little soft scoop ice cream, had a little snooze, and then just been down to dinner and had the most lovely waiter and assistant servers. Always nice when they mention that they've been on Sky Princess from Southampton. It just makes us feel a bit more at home. But yeah, lovely to also hear how much they enjoy it when they're in Southampton as well, so that's been nice. So tomorrow is a sea day, so we will see you when we get up and see what we get up to for our sea day tomorrow as we head back down south and head to Victoria, Canada on Saturday. So I'll see you in the morning, so thank you very much for watching. Good night.